Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Live with Arnette D. Love. Listen, this is the session I had to do from my car. As you see, I have another event. It seemed like I had events the entire weekend. So I'm going to, I'm not going to not come to you. So I'm going to do what I can do, via Facebook Live. So I'll be waiting to see if he cues in so that we can bring him on. But just in case he doesn't come on, this is going to be you and I once again. The topic is community service. My question to you is, what are you doing for your community? What are you doing to service others? Or are you the person that just like to talk about what other people are doing or aren't doing? So my question to you, think about it now. What are you doing for your community? What are you doing that's bettering our area? The area around you, no matter where you are, what are you doing that's making your area better? Okay? Because that's some of the things that we need to ask ourselves before we start pointing fingers at other people and saying what other people aren't doing, or saying what other people could do and all that stuff. I hear it all the time, and I know you do too. Oh, she could have done this, and she doesn't give back, and he doesn't give back, and the people. But we're right here in the community, So my question is, what are we doing in the community? Because we love talking about what other people don't do and what other people could be doing. And so I think sometimes we got to take a hard, long look at ourselves and try to police ourselves, okay? Before we start pointing our fingers at other people. I mean, I've had, when during the time when I put myself in front of everybody, a lot of people was like, what you do in the community. And surprised to find that I do a lot in the community, okay? People are surprised to find about the things that I do, but my thing is, okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I was trying to get the young man that was supposed to come on and do the show today. But anyways, people are surprised to find just how much I have done. And I don't know how many times I hear, oh my goodness, you've done all this stuff and this. Even my mother was like, you've done so much and you're so young. I'm not young now, but the stuff that I did when I was younger. Because what happens is, with me, I just keep moving. There's no stopping me. I have to keep moving. I have to continue to better myself. I have to continue to help people. It's all about the betterment of the city that I was born and raised in, because I was born and raised in Portsmouth. And so it's all about giving back for me. I have nothing else to do that's going to satisfy me more than to give back to the city in which I was reared in, the city in which I went to school in, the city in which that the neighbors were allowed to correct me in. See, that's the problem right there, y'all. Yeah, I'm going to jump to it. The problem is we no longer allow the village to be a part of the upbringing of our kids. And we have pretty much lost control of most of our children. Not all of them, but most of our children, because we want to be yours, mine, mine, I, and that type of thing. It's never a we or a us, okay? And so we done pretty much lost control, because can't nobody tell my child what to do. You know what I'm saying? That's that mentality that we have now. Nobody gonna be fussing at my child. Nobody gonna say nothing or anything to my child, depending on your grammar level, to my child. And see, my thing is, sometimes somebody needs to say something to your child. This is community working together. They don't have to be abusive just because they corrected your child, but sometimes your child needs to be redirected, okay? And you and me, We don't need to be defensive about it. We don't need to come in an uproar and come against the individual because they feel that they want to or need to redirect our child, our children. You know, sometimes our kids are just totally disrespectful. You know, sometimes we need to get them out of our environment and put them in another environment, an environment where people that started off like them with the little disrespectful ways, the smart mouths, the cursing and all that stuff, where people can talk to them and let them know, hey, this is where this type of behavior is going to lead you. I was just like you one time and it led me here. You're not built for that. You don't want to be there. So let me help you. Let me redirect you. There's nothing wrong with using these grassroots organizations that are in our community trying to help our children. There's nothing wrong with it. Once you find one that you can actually trust, somebody that you know is working for the betterment of our kids, our youth, use them. Don't act like they're not there. Don't say there's nothing in the community for our kids, because there is something in the community for our kids. Yes, these individuals might not have that perfect background, but it's that them not having that perfect background is what's going to save your child. It's what's going to save my child sometimes. I don't have a perfect background, okay? But I can tell you how to move as a mother. I can tell you how to move as a parent. I can tell you what to look for in the red flags in relationships when I put my life coaching hat on. Listen, I'm trying to explain that even though these people might not be what you would consider top tier, I know I'm not top tier. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking at my history. But the thing is, I can show you a different way. And that way to give you a different option. Okay? I'm not telling you anything. I just show you. I provide. I give you another option. And this is what these guys out here trying to do. Give our kids another option. And in the realm of what they're doing is their community service. Is their way of giving back. Is their way of correcting a wrong that they may have done in their life by trying to make sure that our children don't do that same wrong. So the person that I had scheduled to come on today was someone that works with kids. He's a basketball coach, took some of our P-Town kids to championships, and I wanted him to come on because he said he had a lot to say to the individuals in Portsmouth, to the citizens. And so I'm assuming he couldn't get on, which is no problem. We're going to work it out anyways. But this is why I wanted to talk to him this morning, because community service is so important. And one thing we have to remember, my lovelies, community service, for the most part, is volunteering. Volunteer work. Nobody's getting paid like talking about. I mean, you get money, you collect money for what you have to do with the children, you know, like getting their uniforms or taking them to different areas to compete. That community service does not really pay you monetarily. Community service, you're paid from getting that self-satisfaction of knowing that you have given back to your community. That's how you get paid when it comes to community service. And so it's an awesome thing that these men, these women, these fathers, these mothers, sisters and brothers, aunts and uncles would come out and share time with kids that do not belong to them, kids that do not look like them. Come on now, we got to give it to them. We have to give it to them, because this is not something that they have to do, and they choose to do it. And a lot of us want to turn around and spit in their face and act like they're not good enough to handle our children. This is Real Talk Live with Arnette D. Love, and I'm going to keep it real. We act like we're too good to allow our kids to interact with these individuals and the kids that they're mentoring. So we need to rethink mentality here with that, because there's nobody like a person that's been in the fight that can tell you how to win the fight. Okay? I can give you all the book smarts and all the book sense in this world, but I cannot tell you how to win a fight that I have never had to fight. And we're sitting here second guess these guys and women because we feel like they're not trained. They don't have enough education to teach our kids or mentor our kids. Let me tell you something. Education, you can get educated in the street. Okay? You can get educated in the street. All right? And that's just like the traditional education. You got to do a review every once in a while. You got to go back and revamp and catch up every once in a while, because the streets change. But the game is the same, but you got to know what game they playing and how they done twerked it. And if you don't know that, that's going to be a problem for you. Okay? And how do you learn that? You learn that by talking to these guys that have boots on the ground in the street. You learn that by getting out here with these grassroots organizations, making a communication line or avenue, whichever one you prefer, and being able to reach out and say, hey, this, and that. This, and that. I need to know why. I need to know what's going on here so they can tell you, listen, do this. See, it was one of those grassroots organizations that brought my attention to something that had happened some years ago in Portsmouth, and something that they knew I would not approve of, and just so happened I was talking to him, and we had just did an interview, and he told me, he was like, go Google such and such and such, and as soon as I Googled it, it popped up, and my answer was already absolutely not, so had I not talked to this young man that once used to be out on the street, used to live that street hustle life, had I been afraid, have I shunned him and thought I was better because I was this, and I wasn't raised like that, I would have never got the information that I so needed to have. And that's why we have to stop pushing people aside thinking that we better. We are not better than anybody. Stop thinking you better than somebody. And I want y'all to stop thinking that people are better than you. Okay? Just because they have some money, just because they have nice clothes, just because they have a nice house, doesn't make them better than you. They just, moving a little differently than you are. Maybe baby, hold on, y'all. Huh?
You said you was going to feed me.
Oh, I did, didn't I? Okay, get back in the car. Grandma forgot. Grandma moving. I'm moving fast, y'all. I got my granddaughter trying to drop her off. She's hungry. I forgot to feed her. Okay, let me go get this baby something to eat. So, just because they're moving differently than you're moving does not mean that they're better than you are, okay? That doesn't mean they're better than you. That you just haven't got yours yet. Everybody has a certain point where they're going to receive their blessings. And if you continue to do right, you continue to move in the right path, you continue to do your community service, you continue to serve other people, and you continue to show these kids a better way than being out here messing with drugs and shooting each other up, you're going to be blessed. You're going to be blessed as well. Your stuff around you is going to build. The stuff that you're doing is going to build you a way. It's going to make a way for you. You're going to be in your house. You're going to have your car. You're going to make different moves. You're going to meet people that can use you because they can't reach the people they want to reach. Come on, somebody. You cannot be out here and never been out here and think you're going to tell these kids how to get ahead and how to avoid doing the bad things in the street. These children not going to listen to you. You ain't never had your boots on the ground out here. You ain't never faced some of the stuff that they're facing. You can't tell me how to live in the hood if you've never been in the hood. Come on. But we got guys who's actually been out here living in the hood, making a way, getting out, making moves. That can come back and tell these kids, listen, I've been where you are. I used to eat at these rec centers. I used to do this. I used to go play ball there. I stayed in there. Hold on, y'all. Okay. We got these guys that can relate. It's all about relatability here. I stayed in there. Like with me. Yeah, I was one of the kids that used to go to the rec centers when I was young, eat lunch. I didn't have to, but I wanted to do it because my cousins were doing it and other kids were doing it. So I wanted to do it too. So I can say that I experienced that. I went in there playing fuse ball and learning how to play pool. I wouldn't, so when I go to work with these children at these rec centers, I can relate. I can see how we used to look when we used to go to these same rec centers that's been open since I was a child. I can relate to all of that, okay? So I see them. I see where they are. And now I can spot the ones that may need a little help. Spot the ones that may need some t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? I watch them. Some of them, they love their favorite shirts, them little wife beaters. And they wear that thing, that wife beater be so dingy. You know what I'm saying? So I know that I need to pick up a pack of wife beaters. You know what I'm saying? It's, because this child needs something. It's all about taking care of our community. It's all about giving back. And we have to remember that sometimes we're all they have. They're watching us in this community. They're watching the way we move. They're watching the way we politic. They're watching all of this stuff about us. Okay, so we got to tread lightly. We have to tread lightly in the community that we are building for the future. And I want these kids, when I'm too old to do anything anymore, when I'm too old to walk or talk or move even, I want these kids to remember, like I remember, what somebody did for them. So they will want to do for someone else, so that it will be in them. You see, I remember when somebody took me to something better than what I ever seen. I remember seeing people that looked like me in these big homes. You know what I'm saying? Big bedrooms, because when I was young, our bedroom, you get a bed in there and you get a dresser in there. You may be able to get a little nightstand in there, but honey, you turn it around like a robot. You know what I'm saying? You have no room in that room. Okay? So I was used to, us, we want to have nice stuff as well. So we got the big bed and all that stuff in our house, but we have no room. Well, it wasn't until this lady took me to a big house where when you went in the bedroom, the bed was super huge. It had the dresser, 2 nightstands, honey, lamps and long draperies on the wall. And to look at the lady, and she was pretty. She was beautiful. Her skin was dark as mine. And I'm like, oh, this how we can live? We living like this? I didn't know that. But it takes a village sometimes to show our kids that you can live differently. There is other ways of living outside of what you're living right now. And it takes that village sometimes to show that kid, because sometimes that parent don't even know about the other ways of living. Okay? Sometimes that parent don't know about the long drapes and the big beds. Sometimes the parent don't know, so why not let other people come in and properly influence your kid? You always keep an eye on what's going on with your children, but there are people who will properly influence your children, okay? My mother did a good job raising me, right? But we didn't do a lot of cookouts at other people's house, all right? So what happened is, when I got older, you want Wendy's or Taco Bell, or you want pizza? You want some pizza so your brothers can eat? Let's do pizza, okay? So when I got older, I would go out to cookouts and I would see what other people would do. They always want to take something home or something like that. So I thought that was what you're supposed to do. You know, take a bag, take a, little bucket. Until this other lady came up to me and told me, no, don't take nothing home. Always come, eat what you gonna eat, and then leave. See, I wouldn't have known that had she told me, because I'm watching other people do what they do, and they're taking doggy bags home. I didn't know we weren't supposed to take doggy bags home from the cookout. So now I don't take doggy bags home. I don't do any of that when I go to cookouts and everything. What in the world? I'm sitting here, y'all, looking at the little Caesars. I don't see no lights on or nothing. And this lady just sit here. But that light sure say closed. I mean, it's off. But so, getting back to what I was saying, the doggy bags, for me, is out of the question. I would never, ever take a doggy bag home. Because that's just not me. Okay, I don't think, God, you want, I'm not going to, I don't think they're open. That's just not me. So what I do, I go to your cookout, I eat what I'm going to eat, I'm going to leave. If I'll ask you, do you want me to bring you anything? If you don't want me to bring you anything, fine. But I would not take anything away from your cookout, because that's not what I was taught to do. And I wasn't taught that from home. I was taught that from somebody else. And that's all I'm trying to say. You want Wendy's.
Yes.
You have people who will encourage your kids to do the right thing. All we have to do is find people that we can trust to do so, and then let them do it. And you always ask your kid, what did y'all do today? What did they talk about? And that way, if you need to redirect or correct something, you're free to do it. You're free to do it. You see, so my thing is, community needs to work together. But we always and should be doing something in the community as well. We need to be.
Thanks for choosing Wendy's.
Thank you. Can I get what you want? What kind of Happy Meal you want? Kids meal.
Cheeseburger,
What Bam like and what Cody like?
cheeseburger and nuggets.
Okay, the one night cheeseburger. Can I get 2 cheeseburger kids meal?
And for your drinks?
You want to drink?
Pepper.
Dr. Pepper for both, and then let me get a 4-piece nugget kids meal.
And your drink is soft?
What kind of drink he like?
Sprite.
A Sprite with a barbecue sauce.
All right.
Okay, and then let me get a order 4-piece nuggets. That's all.
For your sauce?
No sauce.
Your soda's $15.70.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, y'all, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. Gotta give my grandkids something to eat. So, we want to make sure that we encourage our grassroots organizations, but we want to make sure we check them out too, because you got some people that prey on children. Okay, we do, and so you want to make sure you don't just send your kids with anybody just to get rid of them. That's a lot of what be going on too. We want to get rid of our children, so we just send them with anybody. No, we don't want to do that. We want to use the gyms around here, the community centers. There are community centers. I don't understand why people saying we don't have anything. No, we don't have the high class and high top of the line stuff, but we do have stuff. We need to utilize them. I am guilty. I did not utilize them. I did not send my children to these gyms and centers and stuff. It's almost like I forgot they were available, but they are available. So tell somebody, hey, and we're not babysitters now. You got to understand with that, because your kid is able to come and go at these centers. So they have to be mindful that they need to stay there. Yes. And so you got to make sure that you check out where your kid is going. You know where they're going. And you trust the individuals that they're going to be around. But don't say there's nothing going on. I'm going to need a receipt too, baby. And don't say that there is nothing available for your children. And don't knock these grassroots organizations, because some of them are doing amazing things. Did you get it? Thank you, darling. Some of them are doing amazing things in the community. Some of them are keeping our kids busy. They're preparing them for their athletic adventures. Because listen to this, I have seen these little kids play ball like, I mean, professionals look like to me. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating. Let's say high schoolers. I done seen these little kids. They haven't even started school yet, and they're playing ball like they're in high school. Okay, had I put my son in this type of environment when he was young, it's amazing. I can only dream about where he would have been. Okay, and these guys, these same guys, these coaches, community service. This is their community service. This is their give back. This is what they do to show that they care about the kids in the community, that they don't want to lose these kids. I'm tired of losing our babies. I'm tired of them getting shot down in the street. And everybody should be tired of it. And so let's find out what it is that we can do. What are you doing in the community besides yapping and gapping about what somebody else isn't doing? That's what we need to find out. What is it that you're doing? Okay, did y'all get my the other nuggets, baby? I have another 4-piece.
There's another 4-piece. You get in the bag.
Okay. So what is it that we're doing to help the community as well, instead of just running our mouth and talking about, thank you, dog, talking about what our politicians ain't doing. If you're not pleased with what the politicians doing, it's a well thought out system. It's called voting, okay? But if you vote them in over and over again, or don't vote them out, guess what? You're pleased with what they're doing. So honest and truly, I personally don't care to hear any complaints about our politicians, because we have time and we have the ability to put in who we want. Okay? So all that complaining and not voting is the same thing as complaining about the community and not doing anything in the community. It's just a lot of talk. I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not trying to hear that. I want to know what you're doing. Stop being afraid to make moves too. I remember back in the day as a little child, my grandma used to drag me up the street. Now my grandma always had a job, whether she was working at GE or whether she was doing nursing, but my grandma always worked for herself as well. Okay, so which means when she was off from her job, her main job, she was doing her own business as well. I remember her dragging me with her to her place of business where she would do what she does, and these people weren't afraid to make moves, but we're so afraid to make moves. We got to be validated. Let me get it right. We have to be excuse me, y'all. This gas. We have to be validated these days. We got to make sure we tell everybody what we doing. We got to let our left hand know what our right hands are doing. We can't just make moves and keep it going. We got to make sure somebody know and act like somebody really care. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't care about you. Everybody don't care when good stuff happens or when you do good stuff. Go ahead on and get it done. Then talk about it. Talk about what you've done. You see what I'm saying? What you're able to do. Can I help you in any way? That's what we need to start doing. But we need to start this braggadocious stuff. You just want to put it out because you can. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. I got invited here. I got invited there. Well, okay. You might have more connections than I do. That don't make you better than me because you lucked up and got an invite. It really doesn't. You see what I'm saying? And that's what people need to understand. You might have a hookup. Ain't no telling how many people you called to get that invite, baby. You know what I'm saying? Glad your hookup worked. And that's why we, stop bragging all the time. Action. Do something. Make this stuff count. Do something that's worth something. Give back to the community. Give back to the community. Brag about how you giving back to the community, but not brag. Just, you know what I'm saying? Brag by actions. That's what I'm trying to say. act upon it. Let somebody else talk about what you've done. Let somebody else talk about how good you are. Let somebody else talk about that. That's the best kind of reference right there, is when somebody else is telling your story of how you're treating other people, how you're good to your community, because then we know that you're doing something. You can sit there and puff all you want to. You can start making up stuff that you're doing. But when somebody else actually sees you doing something for your community, it makes all the difference in the world. I can't stand for somebody, for real. You will sit here and you'll do something for somebody in the community, and then you will put it on video. You know what I'm saying? I mean, isn't it, don't you think it makes me a little humiliating that if I'm living out on the street and you're giving me clothes or you're giving me money, but the whole time you're filming me, okay? And to me, it's just for show. Because it's so simple to do the act, and you can come back and say, this is what I did today, and encourage somebody to do something like that. That's not bragging. That's trying to get a chain reaction of a loving service. But instead, we want to put the camera all up in the people's face and stuff like that. And I would tell you, I'm the type of person, if I believe that if I was homeless, and I just believe this, okay? I believe that if I was homeless and you shoved that camera in my face as you try to give me money, I probably wouldn't even take it. I probably wouldn't even take it. And I say that because they have pride too. We're not the only one that have pride because we got $1 in our pocket. They have pride too. And we don't know why they're in a situation that they're in. And I never do I want to diminish anybody. Ever do I want to diminish anybody. I got donations right now for a gentleman. I would never put his name out. I would never, ever film him as I give him the donation. I would never do anything that would diminish the act of kindness that I plan to do for him. Okay? My thing is, let's start doing this stuff from the heart. Let's start being sincere about our giving, being sincere about our community service, and stop doing it for a show. Stop doing it for a show. Do it because you truly care, because you know that our people need it, and then let's start helping change mindsets. Because if you change mindsets, it makes a world of difference. We start changing these mindsets, these people know that, hey, I can do this, and I can do this better, and I can accomplish things because I'm thinking differently. I'm thinking about winning. Let's change mindsets, y'all. Let's get this community service stuff done. Let's get out here and start picking up this garbage. I'm riding through it, garbage everywhere. Somebody lives here. We don't have to wait for the maintenance man to come out and pick garbage up. We know we threw this garbage on the ground. And then how about not throwing your garbage on the ground? Just throw it in the dumpster. Dumpsters on every corner. Garbage all over the dang old place. Come on, we can do better than that. We can do better than that. But listen, remember, God loves you. I love you. Make sure you love yourself. And that's the only way you can go on and love somebody else. Until we shall meet again, may you be continuously blessed. And thank you so much for joining Real Talk Live with Arnette D. Love.